Look, if you're not getting smarter, you're getting weaker. If you're not growing, you're dying. In a world moving this fast, you don't have the luxury to sit still. You either evolve daily or you get crushed by someone who does. It's not enough to show up once a month, once a year, when it's convenient. You've got to educate yourself every single day, relentlessly, aggressively, without apology. That's what today's about. I'm going to hammer you with the principles that separate the hungry from the hopeful, the winners from the whiners. Get ready to change the way you learn forever, because it starts right now. One, if you're not learning, you're dying. Every living thing on this planet is either growing or decaying. There's no third direction. You're either charging forward or you're sliding back into irrelevance. The same rule applies to your mind, your career, your relationships, your entire life. If you are not feeding yourself with new knowledge, new ideas, new skills, then you are becoming less capable, less valuable, less alive. Learning is not something you graduate from. It's not a phase you go through. It's a permanent, ongoing necessity if you're serious about making your life mean something. Too many people hit a target once. They land a job, they build a business, they reach a milestone, and then they think they can coast. They think the world will wait while they kick back. It doesn't. It never has. While you're resting on your so-called success, someone else is outworking you, outthinking you, outlearning you. And when the moment comes to compete again, and it will come, they're sharper, faster, stronger. You're left in the dust wondering what happened. Think about the best athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the best leaders. They never stop learning. Champions study harder after they win, not less. Billionaires read more books than you can imagine. World-class performers are obsessed with leveling up every single day because they know the truth. The game is never over. The second you stop learning, you start dying. You can have the best past in the world, but if you stop growing today, your past means nothing. It becomes your ceiling, not your foundation. The marketplace, the economy, the technology around you, it's all changing by the second. If you're not learning, you're falling behind so fast it'll make your head spin. What got you here will not get you there. You have to fall in love with the process. You have to build an identity around learning, not achieving. Achievements are temporary. Learning is permanent. Learning is the fuel that keeps your fire burning, your mind sharp, your ambition alive. Every single day you don't stretch your mind, you're choosing stagnation. You're choosing mediocrity. You're choosing decline. It's not about piling up degrees or certifications. It's about feeding your curiosity, building your skill set, sharpening your instincts, expanding your perspective. It's about becoming someone who's so hungry for growth that the idea of staying the same feels like death, because it is. You don't need permission. You don't need a curriculum. The world is one giant classroom if you open your eyes. Every book, every conversation, every mistake, every experience, it's all material for your next level. But only if you're paying attention, only if you stay hungry. If you're not learning, you're not just staying the same, you're falling apart, you're rusting, you're rotting, you're putting your life in reverse without even realizing it. And by the time you do, it'll be too late. Get obsessed with learning. Make it your religion. Make it your addiction. Make it your secret weapon. Because while most people check out, while most people think they know enough, while most people die at 30 and get buried at 80, you will still be rising. You will still be dangerous. You will still be alive. 2, no neutral. Grow or get left behind. Neutral is a lie. It's a fairy tale invented by people who want to stay comfortable without admitting they're falling behind. There's no such thing as standing still in life. Every second you are either advancing or you are eroding. Every decision you make to learn or not, to move or not, to push or not, either moves you closer to your goals or further away. You cannot pause your growth. You cannot hold your position in a world that's moving faster every day. While you sit still, the world changes, the market evolves, the standards rise, the expectations shift, your competition gets sharper, technology moves the goalposts, opportunities close. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. You don't notice it at first. It feels safe. It feels easy. You tell yourself you're maintaining, but maintenance is a myth. Decay is automatic. Progress is intentional. One missed day becomes 2. 2 becomes a week becomes a month. Before you know it, the dreams you once had feel out of reach. The edge you once had feels dull. The hunger you once had feels distant. That's how people lose their lives without ever realizing it. Not with one giant mistake, with a slow leak they didn't bother to patch. Growth isn't an option, it's survival. And it's not just about big dramatic transformations. Growth can be daily, micro, invisible to others. Reading one chapter, asking one better question, making one harder decision, taking one uncomfortable action. But the momentum you create with these daily victories compounds over time. It builds resilience, it builds certainty, it builds power. And you better believe the opposite compounds too. Every time you let fear talk you out of action, every time you let laziness take the wheel, every time you lie to yourself that you'll start tomorrow, you're compounding failure. You're setting the stage for regret, and regret is a slow, brutal death. You grow or you get left behind. That's the law, not because someone says so, but because the nature of life demands it. Evolution doesn't reward the strongest or the smartest, it rewards the most adaptable. If you're not adapting, if you're not learning faster, executing faster, thinking deeper, you are being replaced. Quietly, without an announcement, without a warning, one day you just wake up and realize the world doesn't need you the way it used to. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up, to snap you out of the trance. You have more potential in you than you're using. You have more gears you haven't shifted into yet, but you won't find them by sitting still. You won't find them by clinging to yesterday's victories. Growth is painful, growth is messy, growth is uncomfortable, it requires risk. It demands energy. It forces you to look in the mirror and confront your own lies. But the pain of growth is nothing compared to the pain of regret. One builds a future, the other buries it. Forget neutral, forget maintenance, forget balance. Chase growth like your life depends on it, because it does. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get addicted to progress. Get obsessed with the next level. 3, make learning a daily non-negotiable. You don't brush your teeth when you feel inspired. You don't take a shower once a month when the mood strikes. You do it daily because the cost of skipping it is too high. Learning must live at the same level. It's not a hobby. It's not a luxury. It's a requirement. Every day you either feed your mind or you starve your future. Non-negotiable means no debates, no excuses, no I'll catch up later lies. You would never skip oxygen because you had a full schedule. You would never stop eating because you were tired. Learning is the fuel for your evolution. You stop feeding it, you stop growing. You stop growing, you start decaying. You don't need 4 hours a day. You don't need to hide in a library. You need discipline. You need the decision made once, locked in forever. 10 minutes. 20 minutes, one book, one video, one conversation. You can fit that into any life if you actually care enough. But if you keep making learning optional, you'll keep getting optional results. Random, inconsistent, forgettable. Make it your ritual. Make it your habit. Build it into your blood. Wake up and learn. Take breaks and learn. Go to sleep having learned. Stack those sessions until the day comes that missing them feels like leaving the house without pants on. Make it part of who you are. You don't need perfect conditions. You need urgency. You need to remember what's at stake. The person who learns every day doesn't just beat the person who learns occasionally. They annihilate them. It's not even close. Every day you're stacking weapons, you're stacking tools, you're stacking unfair advantages that most people will never even know they're missing. If you think you'll learn when you're in the mood, forget it. Your mood is unreliable. Your emotions are liars. Discipline wins when motivation fails. Build the muscle to learn daily, whether you feel like it or not, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where the breakthroughs live. That's where the separation happens. Some days you'll be excited. Some days it'll feel boring. Some days you'll wonder if it's even working. It's working. Every page you read, every podcast you digest, every new idea you wrestle with, it's carving a new version of you. Stronger, sharper, smarter. You may not see it in the mirror tomorrow. You will see it when the world tests you, when the opportunities come, when the storms hit. That's when the compound effect of daily learning shows up, like armor you didn't even realize you were building. You have 24 hours, everyone does, rich, poor, young, old. The ones who win are the ones who weaponize those hours, who refuse to waste them, who refuse to end a single day without being a little wiser, a little tougher, a little more dangerous than they were the day before. You don't get better once in a while, you get better daily. You don't sharpen your mind once a year, you sharpen it every morning like a blade you depend on for survival, because you do depend on it. In a world this fast, this ruthless, this unpredictable, your mind is your only real weapon. Strength fades, looks fade, luck runs out. But skill, insight, awareness, those stay. Those grow if you do the work. Make learning a daily non-negotiable or accept a life of falling behind. There's no middle ground. There's no good enough. Either you commit fully or you watch others pass you by. Not because they're better, not because they're smarter, but because they did the work you didn't do, because they made it non-negotiable when you made it optional. 4, learn with ruthless purpose. It's not enough to learn randomly. It's not enough to just absorb information like a sponge soaking up dirty water. You need to aim your learning like a sniper, not a shotgun. You need to attack your weaknesses, solve your real problems, build the skills that matter. Every second you spend learning without a clear purpose is a second you're not closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Ruthless purpose means you start with the target, not the content. What do you need to dominate at? What problem is blocking you right now? What dream are you chasing that demands new weapons? You don't read 10 books because they're popular. You read the one book that fixes the bottleneck that's slowing you down. You don't binge podcasts because it's trendy. You find the one conversation that gives you the breakthrough you need today. There's too much information out there, more noise than ever. If you don't filter it ruthlessly, it will drown you. It will distract you. It will make you feel busy without making you effective. You'll end up brilliant at trivia and broke in reality. Smart but powerless. Full of facts, but empty of results. You need to ask better questions. Before you open a book, before you hit play, before you sit down to study anything, ask yourself, what am I trying to fix? What am I trying to build? What skill am I trying to master? Where am I weak, exposed, vulnerable? Then chase answers with ferocity. Then study like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Ruthless purpose means you treat learning like battle prep. You're not reading for entertainment. You're not learning to impress people. You're learning to win, to conquer, to carve out a future with your bare hands. Every lesson you absorb should be a new bullet in the chamber, a new weapon in your arsenal. This level of focused learning is rare because it's hard. It forces you to confront the real gaps in your life. It forces you to see where you're not good enough yet. Most people don't want that. They want to pretend they're fine. They want to drift through feel-good content that tells them they're amazing just as they are. But the truth is, you're amazing when you're growing, you're powerful when you're becoming. If you want to live at a higher level, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. Ruthless purpose is that standard. Every minute you spend learning should be tied to a strategic goal. A weakness you're eliminating, a strength you're maximizing, a future you're building brick by brick. Stop celebrating busyness. Stop celebrating consumption. Start measuring transformation. Ask yourself, after consuming this, what can I now do that I couldn't do before? If you can't answer that question, you wasted your time. If you can answer it clearly, you just move closer to domination. The world rewards execution, not potential. Mastery, not effort. Power, not busyness. Learn with ruthless purpose, and you'll stack so much leverage, so much force, that the world won't be able to ignore you. You'll build a mind that's unstoppable, a skill set that's undeniable, and a future that's unbreakable. 5, turn knowledge into action immediately. Knowledge without action is dead weight. Information sitting in your brain without execution rots. You don't need more theories. You need more punches thrown. You read a strategy, you apply it the same day. You hear a technique, you test it before the sun sets. If you wait, you lose momentum. If you hesitate, you forget. The brain locks in what you use. It discards what you don't. The winners move fast. They make mistakes faster. They adjust faster. They win faster. You don't need perfect steps. You need movement. Imperfect action beats perfect thinking every time. Learn one thing, act on one thing, repeat, stack small wins until you've built unstoppable momentum. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop pretending you need more research. Get your hands dirty, get real world feedback. Action is the cure for fear, for doubt, for confusion. Move now, fix later, but always move 6. Eliminate passive learning. Passive learning is a death trap. Sitting back, consuming information like a zombie won't make you sharp, it'll make you soft. Real learning is active, it's aggressive. You wrestle with ideas, you challenge what you hear, you apply and adapt. You read with a pen in your hand, you listen with questions in your mind. Passive learners drown in overwhelm. Active learners hunt for application. Every time you learn something new, ask, How can I use this today? How can this make me money, save me time, build my edge? Passive learning feels good because it's easy. Active learning feels hard because it forces growth. Most people quit it hard. You can't. You won't. You'll lean into it. You'll build the muscle of turning every insight into a weapon. You'll turn every book, every course, every mentor into real-world power. Passive learning is entertainment. Active learning is transformation. 7 questions, everything you learn. Blind acceptance kills growth. You don't swallow every idea just because it sounds good. You test it. You challenge it. You pull it apart and see if it bleeds truth or weakness. Question every rule, every method, every expert. If it works, keep it. If it's hollow, drop it. Learning isn't about worshiping ideas. It's about forging better ones. You have to be ruthless. No idea is sacred. No theory is untouchable. Growth happens when you think critically, when you sharpen your mind against resistance. Weak minds accept, strong minds interrogate. You're not here to build a library of borrowed beliefs. You're here to build a mind that cuts through noise like a blade. Asking better questions creates better answers. Better answers create better results. Doubt is not disloyalty. Doubt is discipline. Stay curious, stay skeptical, stay hungry. 8, invest in learning like your life depends on it. Most people throw money at distractions, not development. They'll spend thousands on entertainment, but hesitate to invest in one course, one mentor, one resource that could change everything. Winners don't think that way. They know learning is the highest ROI move on the planet. Every dollar you put into your brain multiplies your earning power, your influence, your future. If you're cheap with your education, you'll stay cheap in your results. Bet big on your mind. Prioritize it over everything. Books, coaching, mastermind, skills. You attack them like a hungry predator. You're not spending money, you're buying speed, buying advantage, buying domination. Treat your learning budget like your rent. Non-negotiable, mandatory, sacred. The cost of not learning is always bigger than the price of the resource. 9, track your growth relentlessly. You can't improve what you don't measure. Growth isn't a feeling, it's a fact. If you're not tracking it, you're lying to yourself. Winners keep score. They know exactly where they're getting better and exactly where they're falling short. You need brutal clarity. How many books read? How many skills mastered? How many actions taken? Write it down. Review it weekly. Study yourself like a scientist. Look for patterns. Look for weaknesses. Don't let time slip through your fingers pretending you're growing. Numbers don't lie. Metrics don't lie. Feedback doesn't lie. Track your wins, track your losses, track your adjustments. Make your growth visible, measurable, undeniable. The scoreboard is your reality check. If you're not willing to measure, you're not serious about mastery. 10, surround yourself with aggressive learners. Environment shapes destiny. You become who you spend time with. If you're around slow movers, excuse makers, passive consumers, you will rot with them. You need killers around you. You need people obsessed with growing, evolving, pushing limits. Aggressive learners raise your standards just by being in the room. They challenge you, they inspire you, they pressure you to level up. Drop the energy vampires, drop the complainers. Find the freaks who devour books, attack new skills, and turn conversations into strategy sessions. Build a circle where learning is normal, action is expected, greatness is demanded. Your crew either sharpens you or softens you. Choose wisely. Protect your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. If you want to change your life, don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for anyone to save you. Educate yourself daily, move aggressively, apply faster than you learn, challenge every idea, invest like your destiny depends on it, because it does. Track your growth like a hunter tracks prey, and surround yourself with a tribe that forces you to become more every single day. This isn't a hobby, it's survival, it's domination, it's evolution.